Zoom webinar number one, 18th of January 2023, take one. Here we go. So, smoking. Let me load this up and then I will show you what I've made. Slideshow beginning. Okay, no, we can't do it yet. I'm gonna do it like this. Kick the habit. That's what I thought I'd call it. Um, make a change and take control. So I've been doing hypnosis for the past 15 years. I actually started learning it just after I left high school, and it was more for entertainment purposes, using it with magic and learning how to make people do silly things, uh, stick their hand to the table or make them forget their name, things like that. And then a few years later, I wanted to dig deeper into it and went to a hypnotherapy training in London, and it was better than expected. They really taught all the ins and outs of how it works and how it really does work and can make amazing changes and has changed my life, and I've now used it to change other people's lives. And like I say, this is the first time I've really done this sort of presenting a subject and talking about it to a group of people online like this. And I thought I would choose smoking first because I see hundreds of people, millions of people all over the world are smokers. And we know it's bad for us, whether it is cigarettes, tobacco, whether it's weed. I know marijuana has some medicinal benefits. Even tobacco could be thought to in some ways, and it even goes as far as crack, doesn't it? We smoke just about everything. And I thought I'd tackle this first because I've helped people with it before. It's I feel quite comfortable with it, and I kicked my own smoking habit, and I'm pretty confident I can help other people kick theirs too. So this is quite funny. Um, rotten eggs, anyone? Just think about this. If I came up to you with a box of 20 rotten eggs and said, I will give these to you to eat. You can have, I don't know, maybe you want 5 a day, 6 a day. You'll probably get through 2 boxes a week. It's going to make you sick. It's going to taste horrible. You're going to feel very ill, and it'll be £20 a box. How many do you want? You'll probably think I was joking. No one in the world would take me seriously. Yet that is exactly what we do as smokers. We know we're doing it to ourselves. We don't really necessarily fully understand why. It's just what people do. Maybe it's relaxing or it looks cool or whatever it is for you. It's just become normal and not really questioned. So why do we smoke? Look at all of these things that we do smoke. Everything from cigarettes to shishas to cigars and marijuana to vapes to crack. It's pretty crazy when you look at it all like that, how common it is. Um, literally like let's all go outside for a cigarette together, as if it's a fun thing to do, or I don't know, it's like a pastime. Let's all go and smoke together. So I started smoking when I was 15, um, and I didn't give it up until I was about 23. One day came when I was just thinking, this was when I was in Australia, around the camping table all day, every day, people are drinking and smoking. And I just realized if I don't stop this now, I'm literally going to be doing this when I'm 60. And if I make it that long, and I just don't want to leave it too late, really. So I made the decision there and then that, this isn't what I want to do anymore. And for me, it was the feeling of not having a cigarette. I wanted one. So I didn't have my rolling papers, or I didn't have any money that week and I couldn't afford to buy any. And just going around everyone asking, have you got a cigarette? No. Have you got a cigarette? No. Have you got a cigarette? No. And that frustration of not having something that I wanted, or wanting something that I didn't have. I personally just wanted to be free of that feeling. Like, can I get back to just being content without one? When did that start? When was that first time that I felt something's missing? I need to I need to smoke for some reason. And at first it was a bit weird. People would be smoking around me, but to be honest, after a few days, it was pretty easy. For me, it was the fact that I knew I wanted to do it. It wasn't like I felt I was being made to, or people were trying to convince me to, or, it wasn't like my dad was saying, you need to stop smoking. It was just that I genuinely thought, I need to commit to this. I need to make a change. And I think that voluntary wanting to change my life was the fact that it was so easy. The hard part was um, marijuana for me. I've always loved smoking marijuana. And like I said, there are some medicinal benefits to it. The guy that was supposed to be coming here tonight wanted me to help him stop smoking weed. Um, for you too, this will be different. This is entirely personal. Whatever your goal is, we're going to establish it. It might be to never smoke anything ever again and be content with that, be happy with that, and see what effects, what changes it makes in the rest of your life. It might be that you, like a lot of people, don't want to smoke cigarettes anymore, but do want to smoke some marijuana every now and then. That can be done. That's your choice. If you want to smoke a shisha, I personally do enjoy a shisha occasionally. Um, Whatever your goal is, we're going to establish it. What it is that you really, really want. What works for you. This isn't a one size fits all. This is what works for you individually. What does smoking do for you? Some it well, we say it helps us relax. Tobacco is actually a stimulant, um, not nicotine. A cigarette is going to stimulate you rather than help you relax. But obviously, when we're stressed or just had sex, we will usually smoke a cigarette. We've just finished a day at work, we will smoke a cigarette, and we associate that relaxation with smoking a cigarette. Obviously, a spliff will probably help you relax. Among other things, sleep helps us to sleep. That's what some people say. Again, I don't. Maybe marijuana will help you to sleep. Um, Cigarettes, highly doubt it. It's probably the act of going outside and getting some fresh air and taking your mind off trying to sleep that will help you to sleep. Helps you to escape. Socialize. This is a big one. People smoke when they're drinking, when they're having a party. They will literally get a group of people together to go outside and smoke. Helps me concentrate. Again, I don't think there's actually anything in a cigarette that helps you to concentrate. I don't think there is a concentrating chemical, but it's something people say. Relieve stress. Again, if you're stressed, you take a deep breath, you exhale it, you're going to relieve tension. All of these things, you can find something else to get you there other than smoking a cigarette. There's nothing about a cigarette that helps you with any of these in and of itself. It's something to do. To be honest, it doesn't do anything. It's just something to do. It's just a habit. I've just got used to it. It's just something I do. So, Steve, do you mind if I ask what smoking does for you?
Uh, well, I'll go on to those. I mean, it probably relieves stress more than anything. Well, that's what it feels like it does.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I get
But
that.
that might be because your mind's taken away from whatever it is stressing you, you know?
Yeah, exactly. People work all the time. They go out for 3 fag breaks a day. They probably say it relieves their stress. Again, yes, I don't think it's the cigarette that does that. I think it's the going outside, having a walk, getting some fresh air that takes your mind off it. But obviously, we associate the cigarette with that feeling. So this is where it gets quite interesting. Um, into the into how this habit forms. So you'll obviously hear most people say, "Well, I can't give it up. I'm addicted to nicotine." This is a huge lie that comes from the tobacco companies and from the government because they want your money. So this goes against a lot of what people believe to be true. So if we look at the difference between an addiction and a habit, an addiction, if you're addicted to a substance, there's two things to it that makes it an addictive substance. Firstly, your body is going to get used to it and it's going to need more of it to get the same effect. So higher doses. Or you'll need to shorten the interval between taking it to get the same effect. So, for example, heroin. You try heroin once, you're going to want it again soon after. Every time you do it from then, you're going to need more of it or to do it more regularly. And that's how people go downhill and has very negative consequences. But if you look at cigarettes or marijuana, the chances are, if I ask you how many cigarettes or spliffs you smoke a day, how many do you smoke a day? Is it 5, 10, 15, 20? It's probably going to be like that every single day. You don't have to suddenly smoke 50 a day to get the same effect, or smoke them more regularly. Another way to look at it is that if I were to talk to a heroin addict, they're going to be up all night, um, getting their shots. They won't be able to sleep. Their body will be waking up in sweats without it. They'll go to extreme lengths to get it, whether it's stealing money or prostituting themselves to get the money to get it. Their body needs to do it that much. But with tobacco and marijuana, well, you might smoke for 15 hours a day, but then you sleep for 8 hours. Absolutely fine. You wake up, even if you don't have any money for them that week, or you left them at home, you'll easily deal with it. You'll just suck it up and wait until you get some. Smoking itself, the act of smoking, is a learned behavior. And we're learning behaviors all the time. We're learning constantly every day from the moment we learn to talk. At first, we have to make a sound. So that takes conscious effort. We have to make a sound. We have to learn to communicate. And that takes years. Um, we learn to tie our shoelaces. And the first time you tie your shoelaces, it's a complex process. You have to be taught how to do it. We learn to drive, changing gears, steering, the pedals. We're taught step by step. This is the same for smoking. We learn how to roll. We learn how to light the lighter. We learn how to take it in, hold it in, breathe it out. It takes conscious effort to do that. Especially as it isn't particularly enjoyable. The first puff you have, it's making you cough. It tastes horrible. There's no good reason why we would ever repeat that and do that regularly, except for the fact that it does something for us. It has a positive function. Usually, that is, it makes us fit in. We're usually 15 or 16, maybe even younger when we first smoke. We're with our friends, somebody says, do you want to or have a puff of this joint? We have one, and we're included in a group. We've broken away from the rules of our parents, and we're now included in a gang. We have that social proof. Maybe it helps you to relax that first time, but I doubt it. I doubt you have your first smoke and go, so relaxing, so enjoyable. Usually it's a bit of coughing, a bit like, oh, that felt weird, hurts my throat. So we do it a little bit more. We try it again and we start to get used to it. We learn how to take it down, hold it in. It gives us that head rush. And we associate it then with whatever it is, our group of friends, usually, that sense of being included. I think that's why it's such a social thing. We're just used to that feeling of being part of a group when we smoke. And then from there, after having repeated it, it's like there is a part of us, a part of our unconscious mind that runs this behavior for us. Just like driving a car, just like riding a bike or tying your shoelaces. After repeating it a few times, you learn the mechanics of it, it serves its purpose, and there is a part of your unconscious that runs that behavior. It tells you when to do it so that you don't have to do it. It does it for you. And we have a conscious mind that is aware of this present moment, that can think and analyze and to somewhat make decisions, to some extent make decisions, or at least we think it's making decisions. But ultimately, the larger part of us is unconscious. You are not beating your heart. You are not doing breathing. There is a system within you that has learned behaviors, that can run those behaviors automatically without your conscious thought, without your conscious effort. It will do it if it's got a job to do. And it has got a job to do. It's got to keep you fitting in. It's got to keep you part of the group. It's got to keep you safe and happy. So now we're going to get deep. This is where I explain the hypnotic process to changing this pattern of behavior, this program. It's called the 6-step reframe. It goes back to the 60s or the 70s, I believe, and has been used to help millions of people to, whether it's to quit smoking or whether it's to stop biting your nails or clicking your fingers or really any unconscious behavior. This step-by-step process can work to change. So the first step is to identify the part of you, the part of your unconscious that is running that process. So just like there is a part of you that knows how to tie your shoelace, if I asked you, how do you tie your shoelaces? You would have to think about that. Just like there is a part of you that knows how to tie your shoelaces, there is a part of you that knows how to smoke. And it knows how to smoke reliably, 10, 15, 20 a day at certain times. Maybe it's with a coffee in the morning, maybe it's in the car on the way to work, maybe it's during your lunch break or when you get home, or whatever it is for you. Those times are pretty much reliable. There is a part running that process reliably every day. And under hypnosis, which is a very deep subject as to what it is itself, maybe we'll have to save that for another day. To be honest, you don't even need to be hypnotized. All you really need to do is close your eyes, listen, concentrate, and use your imagination. It's kind of as simple as that. We can talk to it. We can talk to the part of you that runs that smoking habit. And we can get it to talk back. This is called ideomotor movement, ideomotor signals. And that's essentially when unconsciously you make small movements that respond to your thoughts or to the things that people say, the things that I say. A classic example of this is if you watch a person watching football, or if you watch football and somebody's super into the game, you'll notice them, or you yourself might suddenly jerk your leg like that because you're imagining yourself one of the team, one of the players kicking the ball, and you will make small movements that mirror your thoughts. And we can talk to your unconscious, we can talk to that part running the process, and we can get it to talk back through small signals. It might be flicker of the eyelid, it might be your breathing shifts or a muscle twitches, as small as that. We then get it to identify what it's doing for you. It is doing something for you. Back to that first day you had your first smoke. It learns that this helps you to fit in, or this helps you to relax, or this helps you to feel good in some way, whatever it is. We get it to identify what that is. Now, like I said earlier, there are loads of ways of achieving this. There are loads of ways of fitting in. There are loads of ways of relaxing. There are loads of ways of doing this same job. We can get it to look for new ways of doing it. We then get it to look for the best one, the one that works best for you, the one that's most appropriate to your life and your circumstances, the healthiest one, the longest lasting one, a new behavior that it can take to replace the smoking habit. And then finally, we get it to integrate it. We'll literally ask your unconscious to take that new choice and do it. And so long as it is good for you and it can accept the changes it can make, it will go ahead and do it. How to know if you're ready? Some people aren't ready to quit smoking. We've established what it does for you, or at least what you think it does for you. It's good to know this. It's good to know. Question it. Putting a microscope to it. Just look at it. Really analyze it. Why am I doing this? What does it do for me? Ask, is there something else that can accomplish that? Anything else I can do that will get me to the same place? Ask yourself, what would giving up smoking do for you? What would it enable you to do? It'll save us money. Obviously make us a lot healthier. We'll live longer. We'll be fitter. And could have a positive influence on the people around us. What does your ideal future look like? Literally, in 10 years from now, where do you want to be? Making it the best possible scenario, where do you want to be? What does it look like? Personally, I would make my picture super healthy, super fit, best shape of my life, more money in the bank, a nice house, good relationships, make it the best picture you can, because it is achievable. And finally, what's important to you? That's a deep question. What is important to you? Maybe a few smokes a day doesn't outweigh the maybe a few smokes a day outweighs the dream life. To some people, that small amount of pleasure is more important than long-lasting sense of control, like a spiritual growth, or an extra could be £10,000 in the bank after 10 years. So there's something that I will do before we wrap this up. It's very simple. I think You're the only one left. Steve, that's fine. I've put you on I'll put you on mute because I was getting some funny noises too, but I'll take you. Oh, I've, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. So this last little bit, I'm not gonna take you into a super deep trance and leave you there asleep, but I do invite you to go into a little imaginative journey with me, just for 5 minutes. It's super simple. Are you in a position where you are sat down?
I'm kind of laid on the bed with my head, or my head and shoulders up on the pillows.
Fine, that'll do. So, in that case, close your eyes. With the with your eyes closed, it's easier to imagine this as vividly as you possibly can. So imagine yourself walking away from here as a non-smoker. Might take some imagining. Just picture what that would look like. Maybe picture you've never smoked before, if it helps. Or maybe picture you've made the decision to leave it behind for good. Whatever works for you. Just see what you see. Feel how you feel as you walk around, having made that change. See yourself out in your day, out with your friends, your family, free from the need to smoke. Imagine it feels good. Breathe in fresh air. You might want to take a deep breath. Enjoy how it feels to have the freedom to breathe. Feel that oxygen clearing those lungs. Imagine yourself in a year from now, having made the decision to leave this habit behind, to do something about it, whatever it takes. Although, contrary to what the smoking companies say, it certainly can be easy, can be quick. Many people, myself included, my nana included, made the decision to leave smoking behind, and within a day, it was done. We never touched another one. There doesn't have to be any cutting down, there doesn't have to be any patches. I find the best way really is to know that if this is something you want, you absolutely 100% can do it. So see yourself in a year from now. See all the events that have led up to this time next year. You've got the things you want, you're in a better place. See a smile on everybody's faces as they tell you what a great thing you've done. Feel that sense of accomplishment. Could be one of the best decisions you ever make in your life. How your health will improve. You'll feel better. You wake up in the morning feeling fresh and alive. Go to sleep at night feeling happy and grateful for the things that you do have, for the life that you do have while it's here. See yourself as you look after yourself in new ways. Maybe you exercise more. Maybe do more stretching. Simple stretches, 5 minutes a day. Looking in the mirror, with a smile on your face. Tell yourself you love you. Why not? Let's get used to really looking at these small but important things. Looking after yourself. Looking after people around you. And knowing where you want to be in 10 years' time. Imagine that. Imagine things have completely changed. Imagine your life is in a way better place than you could have ever have imagined it. The places that you'll go, the things that you'll do over that time. And know you absolutely can go and do this. And just imagine if anybody ever offers you a cigarette, you simply say, no thanks, I don't smoke. With a smile on your face, feeling good, feeling proud. So take another deep breath in. Feel that oxygen filling your lungs. Feeling a state of freedom. Free from wanting, free from needing, free to just be. And focus on and remember the things that really matter, truly matter. Health, relationships, spiritual and emotional growth. And whenever you like, you can open your eyes. So, to wrap this up, there is a booking form. Only talking to you now, Steve, but just in case anybody ever watches this again, because it is recorded, there is a link here, davidstewartmagic.com/contact, where I now have a calendar where you can choose a day, choose a time, and it will book in a video call where now I can do hypnosis online and anybody can do it anytime. You just book a session and we will get it done. And the important thing is, so I will obviously be charging for personal hypnotherapy sessions, but I never want money to be the reason somebody can't change their life, to make any sort of change, whether it's to remove a habit or achieve a goal or become happier, whatever it is. Money shouldn't, well, isn't a block to doing that. So I will be doing more of these sorts of things that are totally free. And then if a proper session is wanted, then go onto that page, you book a session, we have a call, and we work to achieve your goal. And that is pretty much it. So if we go stop share. Here we are again, back in the room. That's my little presentation on smoking.
It's good, David. Yeah, it's good. It's thought provoking, isn't it?
Good.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
So, how do you feel about it now?
We shall see. Hopefully, inshallah. Yeah, well, as you say, I mean, you know what you're saying is it makes sense. You know, it's but the person's got to want to, haven't they? You know, and I think it's kind of pulling your mind back to some of the things you've said there. When if you want a cigarette or if you feel you want a cigarette, it's pulling your mind back to some of the things you've gone through. You know.
Yeah, I've definitely had times when after I gave it up, I'll be out with friends drinking, and the hardest part for me was when everybody else is smoking, and I just feel it's that old pattern again. It's literally like that time I was outside school at 15 when I wanted to be part of the group. It's that instinct.
Yeah.
But but something had definitely changed because I was aware of it,
Yes.
and I would be actually choosing to smoke, like going against my instinct. Once the hypnosis had been done, like while the changes had been made, my body's telling me, you're fine. You're really okay not smoking. Nothing. What's
Yeah.
wrong? Nothing's wrong. So just be here. You can be fine without it.
Exactly.
And it would be me going, oh no, but. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that wears away after a few times of saying, actually, no, I'm fine. You just get used to it.
Yes, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
So yeah, now I don't even think about it. It's not even a thing.
No.
It feels good. It does feel very good.
That's super, Dave.
Yeah.
Okay, Dave.
Yeah. So um, if well, how would you think you would approach this? Like, if you're gonna go away from here, are you gonna are you gonna go and have a fag, or are you gonna um do something else? Are you gonna think about it? Are you gonna just try and get on with your day without it and not think about it? Sort of what do you think?
No, I think it's one of those where you go, as I say, it's worth going through the things you've said,
Hmm.
or remembering some of the things you've said and approach that way. And I think it's again, in part, like you said, I think I know some people try the cutting down bit and all that kind of thing. I personally don't think that works or doesn't work as well. I think you're better just stopping.
Yeah.
Uh, and I don't know if because the first part of that thing you've learned is actually buying the cigarettes. Obviously, it's a real conscious effort to buy cigarettes because you've got to go to the shop
Yeah.
and you've got to go in, you've got to ask for them. So you've got quite a few different times there where you could. I mean, you could even get to the shop and then think, well, no, you know, I'm not going to go in, or get in the shop and think, well, no, I'm not going to buy a packet of cigarettes because
Exactly.
that's almost that's almost habit. You know, each time you go to the shop because you smoke a packet a day, you automatically go into the shop to buy a packet of cigarettes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when you buy the packet of cigarettes, you also buy a packet of crisps or a bar of chocolate or whatever else you buy. So you're at long term, you're actually saving even more money because you're not going out to the shop all the time to do that in the first place. You know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the first step of it is being aware of it. Once you're aware of it, there's no escaping it. Like you say, it's then a conscious decision to do it.
Yeah, right the way along. Right the way along.
Yeah, and yeah, like I say, you'll be surprised. I don't know if you've ever tried giving it up before. Have you?
Well, I started when I was 23. I didn't start smoking until I was 23. That's when I had my first cigarette.
Hmm.
And I was in Norway, and it was absolutely, minus 20, minus 30. And all the rest of the group, all the rest of the soldiers that I was with, they were away doing an attack. There was just two of us sat together. And we used all the fuel out the stoves, making cups of coffee and tea. And you had 3 pairs of gloves on because it was that cold. The outer pair being a big set of mittens. And even they were frozen. And the lad I was with was a lad called Jimmy G, and he got a cigarette out and started smoking. And he just looked so warm. And I said to him, I said, give me a cigarette. He said, you don't smoke. I said, give me a cigarette. And it's because he looked so warm. I did stop for 2 weeks, about 5 years later. And on running a mile, my time improved by 58 seconds.
Oh, nice.
That was a huge, sorry, a mile and a half.
Right.
So we did these tests once every 3 months, and I was always hitting 10:30 or around there for the mile and a half. And after stopping for just 2 weeks, we did one of these tests, and I got in at about 9:32, 9:35.
Yeah. Wow,
So a
that's
big
just in
difference.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, imagine what it could do in 2 years.
No, exactly, exactly.
Hmm. Yeah, I've noticed my fitness has changed dramatically. I feel in the best shape I've ever been in. I've been putting more time into the gym and but also the cutting out of things that are bad for me, less alcohol, and no smoking. Yeah, it made a big difference. It just
Exactly.
gives you more energy
I'm
and
sure.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah, certainly.
yeah. But yeah, it's like well, you'll know if you quit for 2 weeks that after a few days or a week or so, you start to get used to it, and the more time goes by, the more it just becomes normal.
Exactly.
Mm,
Exactly. That.
yeah, I'm gonna have to shoot off,
Yeah.
but
All right, and David. Well, thank you very much.
thank you for joining. Hope it was helpful. I hope it helps you, and yeah, let me know how it goes.
Yeah, certainly. Thanks again, Dave. You take
Check in
care.
a few days.
Exactly.
Bye
You
then.
take care.
See you soon.